Do you see that?
Who is that?
Oh my god.
Is he dead?
He looks like Shakespeare.
Shakespeare?
He was if I remember it correctly, he was a famous English poet, writer, and a playwright in the 16th and 17th century.
We don't know when exactly William Shakespeare was born, but he was baptized on April 26 in 1564 and died on April 23 in 1616, when he was around 52 years old. People call him the England's national poet or the Bard of Avon because he is considered as one of the greatest writers of all time. His works include of about 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and about 2 long narrative poems. He used some unique techniques while he was writing. That's probably the reason why his work is so timeless. He used, for example, a foil, that's a character who contracts with another character to highlight specific qualities of that person. The purpose of a foil is to give emphasis on one person's characteristics using another person. Another technique is a remark or passage in the play that is not meant to be heard by the other actors, but only to be heard by the audience. It is used to realize that the character's speech is unheard by the other characters on stage. Apostrophe is a mark used to indicate the omission of letters or figures. They show possession and they indicate that letters have been removed from the original words in the process of forming a contraction. The most famous technique is the blank verse, that's a verse without rhyme, especially that uses iambic pentameters. It is used to contrast characters' personalities and social class. For example, you could separate the upper class's speech from the lower through the blank verse because it was only spoken by the upper class. Another technique were the rhyming couplets, rhyming pair of successive lines of verse, typically of the same length. It is used to create a special effect and to ignite the pacing of the poem. They can make poems more powerful and more memorable. In addition, did you know that William Shakespeare has given about 2,000 words to the English language? Before Shakespeare, the English language was much less codified, with no official dictionary and many variations on spelling. Even though Shakespeare was known to be a very good writer, he never seemed to spell his name properly, often signing his name Willem Schack, or by others he was referred to by over 80 different names, such as Shagsburg and Shapir.
So what was he best known for?
Tell me that you don't know Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, I know that one.
And what about the Midsummer Night's Dream?
I have no idea.
A Midsummer Night's Dream was written in 1915 and was one of the many plays Shakespeare produced. This play takes place in Athens, Greece, when the Duke of Athens, Theseus, plans a marriage between him and Hippolyta, who was a former queen of the Amazons. There is a problem facing the other character, Aegeus, whose daughter, Hermia, refuses to marry the man he chose for her and instead wants to run off with her one true love, Demetrius. So Aegeus asks Theseus for his help in keeping his daughter from marrying her love, which is intact with the law since she either agrees to death or becoming a nun. When the couple find this out, they decide to run to the outer forest of Athens and escape the law for them to get married. This is when they also decide to tell their plan to Helena, a girl madly in love with the man Hermia was supposed to marry, Demetrius. This is why she decides to tell this plan further to her love, so that he can come with them. This is how they all end up in the forest near Athens and where most of the play is set. Complications arise in the forest where they have run away to. Oberon and Titania, king and queen of fairies, are locked in a dispute over a boy whom Titania has adopted. Oberon instructs his servant Puck to bring him magic love drops, which Oberon will sprinkle on the queen's eyelids as she sleeps, whereupon Titania will fall in love with the first creature she sees upon awakening. Meanwhile, Helena and Demetrius have also fled into the woods after Lysander and Hermia. Oberon, overhearing Demetrius's denouncement of Helena and how he will never love her again, takes pity upon her and tells Puck to place the magic drops upon the eyelids of Demetrius as well, so that Demetrius may fall in love with Helena. Puck, however, makes the mistake of putting the drops on the eyelids of Lysander instead. Helena stumbles over Lysander in the forest, and the spell is cast. Lysander now desires Helena and renounces a stunned Hermia. In the midst of this chaos happening in the forest, a group of craftsmen are rehearsing for a production of Pyramus and Thisbe to be played for the Duke at his wedding. Puck casts a spell on the Bottom to give him the head of a donkey. Bottom, as luck would have it, is the first thing Titania sees when she awakens. Hence, Bottom ends up being lavishly kept by the queen. Oberon enjoys this sport but is less amused when it becomes apparent that Puck has botched up the attempt to unite Demetrius and Helena. Oberon himself anoints Demetrius with the love potion and ensures that Helena is the first person he sees. However, Helena understandably feels that she is now being mocked by both Demetrius and Lysander, who is still magically in love with her. Finally, Oberon decides that all good sports must come to an end. He puts the four lovers to sleep and gives Lysander the antidote for the love potion, so that he will love Hermia again when they all wake up. Next, Oberon gives Titania the antidote, and the king and queen reconcile. Theseus and Hippolyta then discover Lysander, Hermia, Helena, and Demetrius asleep in the forest. All return to Athens to make sense of what they think is a strange dream. Likewise, Bottom returns to his players, and they perform Pyramus and Thisbe at the wedding feast, which has since become a wedding of 3 couples. As everyone retires, fairies perform their blessings, and Puck delivers a tender epilogue soliloquy.
So, do you have some idea about the play Midsummer Night's Dream now?
Yeah, it was wonderful to see the scene and how it went through and stuff.
Do you know why he's here?
Oh, he's been here a long time. I think he died when he went to a pub with his friends and he got really sick. So he just turned in his will and died. And he apparently had some fever, which he couldn't deduce. So he died. Well, whatever. Let's just go.